COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack. Hey, coronavirus, I want my life back.
Just bang my head in the window. Thank you, frontline workers, healthcare workers, service people. All right, that's the way we start every show. Whether or not anybody else is yelling out there doesn't matter. It's just a chance to say thank you to people who definitely deserve it. This is going to be a really interesting show. As I get into my office, let me just get all set up here. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. How is everybody doing today? Hello to everybody who is already and listening. Da-da-da. It was a beautiful day. It's still cold, though. It is still chilly. All right, there. We've got the microphone going. 3, 4. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. We are going to do nothing but commercials today. We've heard too many stories about small businesses going under. We have heard about people struggling. There are a lot of businesses still running that people don't even realize are open. So I don't want to discourage you from going to the big places like McDonald's or Pizza or that big. I mean, they're local franchise owners as well, but they're not as vulnerable as the mom and pop operations out there and the family run businesses that are out there. So by all means, support as many businesses as you can, such as the big conglomerates, because they hire people and pay salaries as well. But there are companies, there are businesses that are in risk of going under unless we can do something for them now. My guest today is a very good friend of mine, Rita Demontis from the Toronto Sun. We've known each other for several years, Rita.
We've known each other for a couple of decades, actually.
I think so.
And like fine wine, you know, as we get older, we get better.
We do. So I really wanted you on board today because you are such a cheerleader for small businesses. And you know all the best places to eat, to shop in Toronto. And that's why I really wanted you on board.
Oh, that's so kind of you. And, you know, I am a huge supporter of the small business people because, you know, it's on their back. Our economy has grown, and it's thanks to the small business people that Canada is so successful. So I think it's really important. And people need to realize that if they had a favorite spot and they didn't know if it's open or closed, just phone and find out. Okay. And many companies are curbside buying fresh bread, fresh goodies, produce, things like that. And seriously, I drove around my neighborhood. I had to drop something off, and there were so many lineups on the big box stores and the conglomerates that I just the idea of waiting 2 hours to go buy a loaf of bread was too much for me. I don't know about you, but it's insane.
Okay, so this is what we are going to do, Rita. We are going to do a number of what I'm going to call a new segment, business bumps. All right, so we're going to give a bump, hopefully, to businesses. So I've even got an intro for it. Here we go.
Okay.
Sounds very official. Business bump. So the first business bump we're going to do is for Richview Bakery. This is one of your faves. Tell me about it.
I love this place. It's run by an amazing woman, Gina, and she's a tough, dynamic person. And she has eat-in or takeout. So she wants to keep her staff there. She has a very dedicated staff, and she's doing some really, really good takeout. And her claim to fame actually is she has a wonderful hot table. And there's a whole group of a very tiny group of Italian mothers in the back, and they're making home-style cooking. Prices are great, and the food is amazing. And it's good to pop in there because it's like being in an episode of Cheers sometimes.
Richview Bakery, 250 Wincott Drive, Toronto. I'm using my announcer voice. 250 Wincott Drive, Toronto, richviewbakery.com. Give them a call, 416-248-4662. Keep in mind, you got to call these places for service, and sometimes a day or two in advance. All right, next one, Janchenko's Bakery.
I love Junchenko's. It's run by a young woman, very dynamic. It's very Ukrainian. It's in the Bloor West Village. She is still open. This is a woman who took on this whole company all by herself. She's so smart. She's actually a journalist, and she is gone into a second career. So it's really, really nice. And she's lovely. And the food there is amazing. It's all that old Eastern European charming food and all those desserts and sweets and dumplings and things like that. All the good things in life. Borscht.
Okay. Now, I've got one that just came in here. I'm going to put it up on the air. Please promote Endless Tales Pet Nutrition in Mississauga, small business run by Kathy Reed at 1891 Rathburn Road East. Has pet food, supplies, and toys, curbside pickup. Call them 905-299-0378. So once again, that's Endless Tales Pet Nutrition. If you're looking for something for your animal, you know, I know you may be picking it up at, let's say you're picking it up at Walmart or Loblaws or something. You know, right now, why don't you just, for the pets, try Endless Tales Pet Nutrition, Endless Tales Pet Nutrition, if you're in the Mississauga area. And
I love that.
I don't want to put a damper on people who are going to the big conglomerates, because they hire a lot of people and pay a lot of salaries. They're not as vulnerable, though, or as close to going down. And it's terrible to hear about some of these businesses, right, Rita, that have closed.
Yeah, I know, and that's real heartbreaker. And I love this idea with the pet store contacting you, because when I go out to buy all my pet stores, I go to several locations. I try to, because I have 3 cats, of course, and I always look for pet toys, which is great. So that's really, really good, and I think we have to remember that.
All right. I've got... Oh, Parker, I'm just going to take that here. Hold on. Okay, I am going to do a bit of a commercial right now. Let's get back to the split screen here. I'm going to do a commercial right now for a pizza place in Corso Italia. Here we go. Oh, I forgot my... Hold on, just a second. I worked hard on that intro. Just a second. Hold on, Rita. I'm going to start over here. Hold on. I can do that. Okay, here we go. We're going to go back out to Corso Italia. Here we are. Time for a business bump. Yeah, I love that. All right, yeah, Frank's Pizza House. Been there since 1965. And
wow.
really
Tell me
good
about your
taste.
crust.
The crust, yeah. So we got a starter that's about 30 years old. We make our pizza dough. Each dough that we make, we hand roll.
Yeah, and it has a really unique taste. FranksPizzaHouse.ca. And again, they've been there since 1965. And there's been a lot of businesses that have been out there since the 60s and 70s, and we want to keep them there.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get to some more of your favorites, okay, Rita? Let's get into how about Milano's Pizza? Oh, there, hold on, bring that audio down. Milano's Pizza out on Bloor West in Etobicoke.
This is a real institution in the West End. They've been making pizza for like decades, and you go in there. It just reminds me of a small sports bar, but it's not. It's a pizza bar, and the people there are so nice. The food is amazing, and you will not be disappointed.
Okay, and this one. Okay, this is interesting, because we've been doing a lot of restaurants and pizza places. But Enoteca Motorino, what is that?
It's actually a restaurant chain, Enoteca Motorino. Ride with us.
I thought it was a car dealership. Sorry.
Oh, no, olive oil change. But they're really good. Their restaurants are amazing, but they're doing pickup, takeout, curbside. And I have to tell you, the chef who runs them, Chef Dominic Chiaramonte, is an award-winning chef. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met. And his food is incredible. And there's a location on Adelaide Street. But you could also go to King City, or you can go to Vaughan, and their food is phenomenal. So especially their pizzas.
All right, Kelly's right. We're talking a lot about the West End. You're a West End girl, so I mean that makes sense, right?
I'm a total.
Let's talk about East End. Let's talk about Greektown. Let's talk about some places out in Scarborough. Name off a few. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, sure. Well, because I'm from the West End, East End, I'm not familiar with it, to be honest with you.
Okay,
But
tell you what, everybody, start in the comments section. Give us some stuff in the East End. Give us some restaurants or people. I know there's a yarn place that got in touch with me, wanted people to know they were still open as well. But let's hear about some stuff out in the East End. Now, I'm not
especially in Greektown.
Yeah, most definitely. Real McCoy. Now, I'm not sure if that's a restaurant. It sounds like one. Sounds like a restaurant. That's from Deborah. And Dundas West. Is that where the Real McCoy is? I'm not sure. But okay, don't just give me areas, folks. Tell me the restaurants or the businesses that are open. All right, here's Sammy's, McCowan and Lawrence. In fact, you know what?
I've heard of Sammy's.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I had two different people send me in Sammy's at the same time. Ooh.
Spooky.
Duckworth's Fish and Chips out on Kingston Road.
I've heard of Duckworth. It's excellent. Excellent.
And you have to remember that in a lot of these cases, you may have to call the day before because these places are not used to delivery. They're used to people coming in, sitting down. And I can't wait to get back to going into a restaurant and sitting down, Rita. Me
too. I miss that. I miss a lot of things I didn't think I would miss. My biggest thing is hugging people.
Yes,
I'm a hugger.
She is.
And and what I said to someone is the first person I get to hug, I'm making a $100 donation to their charity, and then I'm putting a $100 donation to an animal charity.
That's wonderful.
Put it out there.
There is a place here. Kathy just put it up. New business just opened prior to isolation called Red Panda on Lake Shore by Cothra and Port Credit. Good food, great prices, large portions, great owner. And Rita, one of the most precarious times for any new business is its first week, its first month of operation. It can make or break them. Oh, yes.
I know of a company. It's a cookie company in Mississauga, Streetsville. I think it's called Rosie's Cookies. And she just opened up the Saturday before the city basically closed down. She's a young single mother of two. Her cookies are amazing. They are beautiful and they're delicious and they're affordable. So she's been doing some really good business, takeout, curbside, and filling orders. But give her a shout out. Her little place is like a little house in the middle of Streetsville.
Now, what about other things other than just restaurants? Because you do a column on so many different shops and that. What have you been hearing lately about who's still out there operating?
Well, the big conglomerates like Winners and Marshalls and HomeSense, they are still doing online business, which is good. Actually, I'm a physical person. I go in and I love to shop and see people and things like that. So the big companies, everybody is reinventing themselves as online, which is good. But I think once they lift all the bans on shopping and things like that, we really need to go back and reintroduce ourselves to the shopping community. I deal with a lot of wholesalers, sort of like Real Deals and Clearance Warehouse, and the famous Mr. B. And he was in the middle of his shoe sale, and he shut it down in the middle of the week. So I'm looking forward for when he comes back. He's probably going to be doing a brisk business. I'm hearing from a lot of my readers telling me how much they miss that. So it's quite interesting. We're divided between people who shop online all the time and people like me who like to get out there and shop in person. So we're in for interesting times when everything goes back to normal, as they say.
Okay, I've got another business bump here. And this is for a place that's been there for a while. In fact, they're going to be celebrating their 30th birthday this year. It's in Streetsville. It's the Tea Room, traditional English tea house.
One of the things that we've been recognized for here at the Tea Room is our scones. We've been told that they are the best in the GTA.
Yeah, Nina is even delivering herself to some of her regular customers. They're in Streetsville, and definitely worth a business bump there. And you were just there, you said, Rita?
I was there a few weeks ago, and not only do they have a beautiful tea room, but there's a wonderful bookstore right next door.
Oh, but I presume that one's closed.
Yeah, so it's something to keep in mind, though, when everything reopens again.
Badira Cafe in Markham, 14th Avenue, family-owned business, badiracafe.com. So
nice.
That's pretty good. Tell me about the passion that goes into some of these small businesses, because you're constantly interviewing and talking to these restaurant owners and the like. And we seem to be concentrating a lot on restaurants, but let's also, well, I'll get to that in a moment, but tell me about the passion that goes into these businesses.
Well, they're small operations, and people think that when you own your own business that you're rolling in the dough, when you're basically one paycheck ahead of the bank. And a lot of these businesses are pride of ownership, labor of love, as they say. And they're the people who are the frontline workers, in a sense, to get to know who the community is, who can they reach out to. You'll find that the smaller the business, they're so generous. They're incredibly generous, and you get to make friends, and they become part of your life as well. That's what I love about walking in there. I'll go into a place and everybody knows your name, and I think there's something really, really special about that.
They could make a TV show about that. We're talking to Rita Demontis. She is the lifestyle editor of the Toronto Sun, and we're talking about business bumps, trying to help out local businesses, and that's where you can really come in. If you are going to be ordering anyway, why not try a pizza joint from that doesn't have a musical song for its phone number. We talk about restaurants too, but there's also the little mom and pop grocery stores and the convenience stores as well, Rita, and a lot of them don't have any lineups whatsoever.
No, there's a really great one on St. Clair near Lansdowne called Deanna Grocery Store. They have been around literally 60 years. And they've had movies shot in there as well. Now, the owners have retired. There are new people there, but they keep in touch with the owners. And you go in there, it's lovely. It's just such a traditional mom and pop place. And you go there and there's fresh produce and just a lovely, lovely spot. And it's called Deanna Grocery, and it's on St. Clair at Lansdowne.
Okay. Someone had just asked about good fish and chips downtown, so if people want to pipe in on that. The other thing, too, is if you are going to be ordering from a food service like Foodora or Skip the Dishes, something like that, DoorDash, that it's easy enough to find local places as well. If you scroll through, go past some of the ones you're familiar with. Why not try something new, especially when it comes to pizza, right? We all love our pizza, but at the same time, we also like to try something different, right?
Absolutely, and maybe tonight's not pizza night. Maybe we should try something organic, or where can we go for fresh salads? There's an idea.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another business bump here I want to run. And this one is something you may not have thought about. How about for a lawyer? Huh? Yeah. So this is for this business bump is for Wesley Jackson Professional Corp, and they have done something special for their clients.
In our office, what we did is we completely emptied out our reception area, took out all the furniture, and we bought easily sanitized, hard surface plastic furniture so that they still can come in, be in our reception area for when we have to meet them in person. We can stand 6 to 8 feet back behind a door or behind some glass. We can see them, we can talk to them, we can take their ID, and we can be there with them when they're signing their documents to be their witness and commission their affidavits.
And they have offices in Orangeville and in Brampton, so good luck to them. And there's so many other businesses that there's paving companies and yard companies, things like that. I'm sure quite a few of them may still be working right now, Rita.
Oh, absolutely. And let's not forget our veterinarians as well. Now, the protocol in place is a little different. I know one vet in the West End, of course, because I'm from the West End. He's one of the kindest people I know. He's very humble. I'm surprised his prices are amazing. And it's a Dr. Saini. He's at Dundas and Jane Street, and just a very kind man who doesn't prescribe things. And I've had pets my whole life. I know a lot of vets, and they're all very good, but I just am taken by his personal touch. And everyone who I have sent there have said, what an amazing man, very kind man, very bare bones type of guy. So it works for me, let me tell you.
Okay. What was I going to ask? Nurseries, many allow pickup and offer delivery as well, and it's that time of year, right? Especially if you want to have a nice garden in the fall, you've got to start now. So yeah, support your local nursery. There is a lot that we do buy at the grocery store now. I mean, grocery stores have changed so much, the big ones. So you can get your plants there. You can get your pet foods there. But try and think about maybe spreading it around a bit for the next little while at least. Who knows? You may even happen upon a really good deal somewhere.
It's interesting about nurseries because they're sort of like akin to the restaurant industry. We rely on nurseries more than we think. And nurseries, the outdoors, our vegetable gardens, they sustain us for a reason. So it would be good to keep in touch with your local nursery, phone them, see if they do curbside service, because this is the ideal time to start starting your garden. If you have space, or starting an apartment garden, which is awesome, and a great way to start teaching your children about gardening.
Yeah. So
it's kind of magical.
Now you don't spend a lot of time in the big stores. What stores are you missing the most right now that you would normally go to?
Two names, Winners and HomeSense.
Okay.
I love those stores.
Yeah.
It's an addiction, I love it in the fall because I love the pumpkins, and then Christmas. Oh my goodness. I'm already singing Christmas carols just to cheer me up.
And so we have to, you already have plans for what you're going to do, and I haven't even thought about what I'm going to do when isolation ends. I think that's a great idea. Rita Demontis is joining us right now. She is the lifestyle editor for the Toronto Sun, and she says that once she gets out of isolation, the first person she hugs, she's going to give $100 to?
Of their choice.
$100 to the charity of their choice. And I think that's boy, could you imagine if we all did that? That would be a great idea. I mean, if we could afford to, obviously. Rita is
$5.
Rita is filthy rich, by the way. She comes and picks me up in her limo every once in a while. So. What have been in your columns? What have you been doing for your columns for isolation and for COVID?
I've been covering a lot of COVID subjects. Believe it or not, reading is huge in Canada. And various parts of this, like out west, they're romantic people. Whereas in the East End, they like their thrillers. It's quite fascinating. And more people are reading. More and more people are drinking in isolation, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at one here. I'm part of a gym, Go Girls in West Markham. The 3 female owners, and they just took over the gym over a year ago, so still in its infancy in terms of ownership. So yeah, we got to support these new businesses, and we got to support the ones like we had that pizza place that's been around since 1965.
Absolutely. We can't lose. These are part of the fabric of our city, of our community, wherever our community is. And I think we need to kind of we've heard it a million times, if you haven't, that to stay in and be safe for everyone else. But let's not forget what the strength of our community is. And I think by being proactive and starting to planning will give you a sense of hope. That's how I feel. I already have a list of where I'm going and what I'll be doing.
Oh, do tell. What is on the list?
After HomeSense and Winners?
and folks, just stand back. You see, Rita, just move back. Just stay back.
It'll be Marshall's. I want to go for a ride in the country. I want to go to Niagara on the Lake. I want to walk along the city again.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, be mindful and be very careful and understanding. But at the same time, put out a welcome mat for everybody.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
We have to be really careful because anybody who lives downtown knows about gentrification, right? I just had to plug in my Mac here. Hold on. There we go. Just wanted to make sure it didn't die on me. We know what's happening with gentrification downtown. We're seeing a lot of rents too high for people to afford, so they're shutting down. And then, of course, the big stores come in and move in and still providing the service and the goods. That's fine. But we're losing tradition. We're losing a lot. I was even talking to a bouncer once who was telling me that even all the clubs are all disappearing downtown because of the high rents. So this could spread beyond the downtown. It's already spreading. So we want to see our small businesses thrive, and because it's part of the character of our city. The thing that I love about Toronto, and Rita, I'm sure you'll agree with me, is it's not a big city. It's a whole bunch of little towns. It's not Toronto, Scarborough, North York, Etobicoke. It is Leaside and Swansea and Roncesvalles, and I'm trying to move out to the East End. I said Leaside,
Kingston Road,
Wexford. It's all these little places, and these little places,
and the
beaches. I know the argument still rages. I don't care what they came up with. I still call it the beaches. I'm sorry. I still call it the beaches.
Yeah, so do I.
All right. But yeah, these are a whole bunch of little places, all built by these small businesses, and it would be a shame to lose them. And that's why we need to really take care of them.
I have one place I go to in the East End, Moss Park Pharmacy. It's a small, humble pharmacy. I've been going there for years. Everyone, the moment you walk in, they know you by name. They know who you are, what your needs are. I watch them in action with the people around them. Such a compassionate group headed by a gentleman called Jim. And up the street is a huge conglomerate, but I'd rather visit them. I find that their level of compassion is unbelievable.
And we also know that there are a lot of new Canadians who come in and they want to open up a business. So it's another reason why, and I'm seeing a lot of businesses here on the comments run by people who are new to the country, and you know, we want that to thrive as well because of the multicultural flavor they bring to the GTA.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so much. There's that famous chocolate company in Nova Scotia. It was started by a Syrian refugee, and now he employs over 100 people.
Wow.
in a few short years. Unbelievable story.
Toronto is the most interesting, boring city in Canada, and proud of it, says Steve. And you know what? I think, Steve, you speak the truth there. So that's incredible. You know what? I'm going to take over here, Parker. I'm going to go over some of the ones we've already done, and we can mention them again. So here we go with our business bumps. Let's start with the Richview Bakery out on Wincott Drive. And yes, folks, we've sort of favored the West End. Tell you what, the next time I do the show, we're going to favor the East End. So 250 Wincott Drive. Where is that?
It's at Eglinton and Islington area.
Okay.
So off the 401.
Richviewbakery. Oh, I know where that is. Well, I know where Richview is. Why am I even questioning that? Yes, okay. So richviewbakery.com. Richviewbakery.com. And there's Jenchenko's out on Bloor West.
Love Jenchenko. Lovely, lovely place. Wonderful woman who runs it.
And I'm gonna run this pizza one again from Corso Italia. Just a second here. Oops, forgot to bring it. Yeah, Frank's Pizza House since 1965. And tell me about your crust.
The crust, yeah. So we got a starter that's about 30 years old. We make our pizza dough. Each dough that we make, we hand roll.
So give them a call and try it out. If you haven't tried them out, they've been there since 1965. They must be doing something right. We also talked about, there's that intro again. Okay, I'm getting a little tired of it. Business Pump. We also talked about the Tea Room in Streetsville.
One of the things that we've been recognized for here at the Tea Room is our scones. We've been told that they are the best in the GTA.
So the Tea Room does curbside service. Give them a call. They're out in Streetsville. It's a traditional British tea room celebrating 30 years. Here's another one as well. Oh, yes, I know. The music's good. I did that one. This is the pizza place I wanted to bring to your attention. Milano's Pizza. Tell me about that one, Rita.
It's such a cool place. And you go in there, it's very small, very humble, and the pizzas are amazing. They're exactly how you want them, and they're very generous, and the prices are exquisite.
Oh, I just lost you there. I'm not sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you there. Okay, good. All right. Cool. And one more, Enoteca, which I thought would be... All right, I'm a munja cake, okay? So I thought Enoteca Motorino meant it was a car dealership. It is not. What does Motorino mean?
Motorino? It's a little motorcycle.
Well, okay, then I'm not far off then, okay.
No, I mean, that's the Italian, La Dolce Vita from the 50s. You see the beautiful girl on this little motorino. Mm-hmm. Reminds you of the old streets in Rome. It's lovely.
Tell me about Enoteca Motorino.
Well, the chef there, Chef Dominic Chiaramonte, is one of the most... He's an award-winning chef. He's very humble. He's very, very good. He's written a book on molecular gastronomy, so his stuff was very whimsical and very magical. And also he gives to the community. That's one of the reasons, I like to share the stories about him, because he's always stepped up to the plate when it came to helping me with fundraisers for local hospitals and things like that. Very cool guy.
That's really important. These people are serving people in the community. I know the Tea Room, Nina was telling me that she's actually delivering for free to some fire halls and things like that. Okay, I've got one in Whitby. This is Rekha's Indian Kitchen, 1800 Dundas Street in Whitby. Check them out on Facebook too. Let me see. This is Carluke Orchards, 2194 Shaver Road South in Ancaster. CarlukeOrchards.ca. Let me see. What's it? Okay, I want to read this one because this is interesting here. I had an 80-year-old woman place an order. Somehow it got canceled on her. She waited 2 weeks for her spot. You have to wait a long time for some of these spots, right? She was in our parking lot crying on the phone with me. I said, I need you to breathe. Go home and write me a grocery list of what you need and call me back. I will not leave work today until you have your groceries. This is what we are seeing a lot of. We are seeing a lot of these stores and shops go out of their way, and you're going to get more personal service like that the smaller the place is, for sure, right?
Absolutely. And that is such a beautiful story. I mean, it touches the heart. I love that. I've been making soup and dishes like that for the shut-in seniors in my condo. And I knocked on one door, and I love it because I get to cook, and I don't eat it all, right? And this wonderful woman said to me, how do I thank you? And I said to her, are you kidding? This is a privilege for me to be doing it for you.
For sure, yeah. All right, Rita, this has been fun. Can we do it again sometime real soon?
I love it. I promise I'll get East End stuff.
Yes.
Seriously.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That is what the next time is going to be on the East End. Rita Demontis, thank you very much for joining me. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Thank you very much, Rita.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Bello. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. That's Italian for see ya. Okay. That was a lot of fun. I really hope that you do try and patronize some of these smaller businesses. So if you are going to be ordering food anyway, why not? I'll put out a few. Now, yes, this is sad, and I don't like to do the sad news on this show, but I mean it's worth mentioning. Vesuvios, we have heard, yes, that they're closing this Saturday after 63 years, and it's just too bad that we couldn't have done enough for this place. Let's see if there's Das Pretzels. Where is that? Das Pretzels, Brampton, Main Street. Bake a large variety of pretzels. Even a pretzel wrap sausages. Oh, that sounds good. Always fresh. And there's a lot of people saying, thank you, Rita. Ciao, Rita. Good night, hugs. So if you have a business, feel free to chat about it. Why don't you tweet about it? Why don't you do advertising for them? Do whatever you can for the small places that you go, or they may not be there when we're out of isolation. So that is it for today. I want to thank everyone for joining me this evening. Rita Demontis, fantastic guest as always. And you can email me anytime, firstaidforyourmentalhealth@gmail.com, if you have any other ideas or just want to know a few things. So firstaidforyourmentalhealth@gmail.com. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Yeah, it's still a little chilly, but a beautiful night, at least downtown. So get out, get a breath, take care of yourself, and take care of each other.